Hey everyone, it's Zoe here. Welcome to another live Q&A. I apologise for having to postpone yesterday. I was feeling awful, but much better today. So hopefully we'll still get in an excellent live Q&A. I'll just give everyone a couple of minutes to log on. So as per usual, if you're watching the recording of this live Q&A, just skip forward a couple of minutes, and as soon as we've got a few people in, then I will start getting on to all of the questions that I've been asked. All right, Jade's here. Hey Jade, how are you? And Sarah, nice to see you. How are we both? There's somebody else here too, but it's not showing me who you are. I hope you're well. I was just saying at the beginning before you guys logged on, I apologise for needing to postpone from yesterday, but I'm feeling much better today, which is really nice. I felt horrible yesterday. Sarah Mewburn is here as well, two Sarahs, and again somebody else is here, but it won't show me who you are. Guys, if you've got any questions, as per usual, I've got a couple of questions to cover tonight, but if there's anything else you want me to talk about, just post it in the comments section and I will get to that as we go through. Janine, how are you going? How is everything with you, Janine? You must be on purees still. Let us know how you're going with everything. Sarah, you're going well, that's good. Nice to see. It's nice to see all of the newer sleevers feeling good and traveling well, because I know sometimes at this stage of the game it's still a bit tricky and up in the air, so you guys all seem to be doing really well, which is fabulous. So I will get to, I might give everybody just another minute or so. Janine, if you've got any questions, let us know as we go through. Just type them in the comments section and I'll get to them, and then, you know, answer all of the other questions I've got in the group as well. I think I've got a couple, maybe 3 or 4 questions to get to, so it shouldn't take too long, but I will have time to answer some others in there. Janine, you're just on to real food. How's it going? Let us know, are you struggling with anything? How are you going with the slow down? That was the challenge for this week, is to slow down and to take 20 to 30 minutes to eat your meal. And that's especially important with new sleeves, just while you're still sort of getting used to things and the swelling's still going down, and the sleeve is still healing. You need to go really, really slowly and just take your time. Feel like a snail. Everybody in a family usually has one slow person, so you can sometimes just time yourself off them and see if you can be a little bit slower than the slowest person in your family. All right, so what I might do is have a look. Actually, before I start answering questions, I posted a blog on constipation today, so I shared it on the Facebook page, on the live Facebook page rather than the group. If you want to have a look at that, it's there. I'll share it to the group as well. That was inspired by the chat we had last fortnight in the live Q&A. I think actually, Sarah, that might have been your question, and I can't believe I hadn't done a blog on constipation before, so there's one there now. So have a look at that if you need to. So Vanessa had a question to start with, which was about hair loss and supplements and what actually works. And this is really, really, really hard. I went back over the literature again, and there is really nothing apart from protein and making sure you're getting enough protein. There's no really strong evidence for any supplements that work in particular. So I know there's lots of like hair, skin and nails and collagen and silica and biotin, and the best one out there that's sort of designed for hair, skin and nails is silica. And the thing with silica is there's still not really strong evidence, but it won't hurt, so you could try taking that. The other thing that other nutrients, I guess, that are related to hair loss are not only a protein, but iron and zinc. And what I would suggest to Vanessa, she's not here yet, but what I would really suggest to Vanessa or any of you if you're suffering with hair loss is to get your bloods tested. We really want those ferritin, which is your long-term your iron stores. We want that up in a good range, and we want your iron to be normal, no anemia, so it can help just to get that checked. But as long as you are taking your multivitamins and you're including iron and you're eating enough protein, you're kind of doing the best that you can for hair loss. So I'm really sorry I can't give you a better answer than that, but there's no like magic supplement for it, I'm afraid. So you can just keep going, eating well, getting your protein in at every meal, taking your supplements as you should be. So the multivitamin, which includes iron, extra iron if you have a deficiency or you're a bit low, your iron stores are a bit low, as well as your calcium and your vitamin D. Okay, so that one was for Vanessa. And Ruth, you just had your iron levels done and you're at 11. Oh man, you must be feeling exhausted. Did you notice? Were you really tired, or did it just kind of sneak up on you? I feel like sometimes we can be low in iron and kind of not realize because it happens progressively, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I feel so tired. Or when you get it checked, you're like, oh yeah, I have been feeling exhausted. So Ruth, definitely get onto the supplements with that. At 11, if you were in my clinic, we would actually consider doing an iron transfusion, which is the Ferrograd injection. So it could be an option to discuss with your GP as well. Jade, you're really struggling with iron too, so again, make sure you're taking the supplement, Jade. So either if you can manage a pregnancy supplement or a multivitamin like the BN Multi, but with an added iron supplement attached as well. So go and chat to the pharmacist. There's heaps of iron supplements out there now, and some are a little more gentle on our guts, which, you know, sometimes people get constipated from iron supplements, other times they don't. Ruth, you said no to an iron infusion, and look, that's okay, but just make sure that you're really maximizing your food intake. So when you take your iron supplement, you're taking it with vitamin C, and you're not taking it with calcium, okay, or caffeine, because that really slows down the absorption. But you might find that you can't bring it up very easily with supplements, so just work with them. Go and get it tested again in another sort of 8 weeks or so. And the liquid iron, sometimes that does work a little bit better. I know, Jade, you just said you're trying liquid supplements. Sometimes it does, and sometimes you just tolerate it a bit better, so you're more likely to take it, which is one of the reasons why it works a bit better. All right, I'm just going back a little bit. We've had Corey join us, and Rebecca and Francine. Actually, Francine, I will answer your question now, and then Janine, I'll come back to you with your reflux. So Francine asked about multivitamin and protein supplements. Francine, I haven't seen any specific multivitamins that are high in protein. They tend to be two separate things. Sometimes protein supplements, if it's something like a meal replacement shake, will have vitamins added into it, so it'll be fortified with vitamins, but there isn't, that I know of, a mineral supplement itself that has protein. So what you're doing now is great. So you're taking the Blackmore's Pregnancy Multi, which is good because it's higher in iron and folate, and I'm hoping I'm getting enough protein over the day. You should be able to get enough protein through your food and not necessarily always need the protein supplements. If you're worried, just have a look, write everything down. Use something like Easy Diet Diary, which is an Australian food tracker app, and it uses the nutrient database that we use for recipe analysis and for food nutrition labels as well on products. So that is the most accurate. Don't use things like MyFitnessPal or Calorie King even. They're not as accurate as My Diet diary, and so use that one, have a look, see how many grams of protein you're getting each day. I can't tell you exactly how much you should be getting because I don't know your history or how much you weigh or how tall you are or any of those things, but usually somewhere around 65 to 100 grams of protein is a very vague ballpark, and I know that's massive range, so that's what I would do, and just check with your GP to make sure that your levels are okay and if there's anything else you need to add in. All of you guys, in the files section on the Facebook group, there is a supplement schedule. It's like a little infographic and it shows you what you should be taking when throughout the day. So go on there, download it, have a look at it, and it changes all the time with multivitamins and different brands and how they're formulated. So coming up this year, I have in to do another review of multivitamins and supplements and things, so that I will get to you in the next couple of months. All right, I think Janine, there it is. Suffering big time with reflux. At this stage, Janine, the best thing is to make sure that you're taking your anti-reflux medication. So something like either usually Somac or Nexium are the most commonly prescribed ones. So make sure you're taking that every day. If you're not managing your reflux well enough and it's there, can you actually type in, Janine, is it there all the time or just after you eat? Is it like constantly? Some people get it first thing in the morning, some people get it overnight, some people get it after they eat, and some people just have it all the time. Let me know. If it's all the time, it's probably likely that you'll need the medication. If it's after you've eaten, it will be probably that you are just eating a bit too fast or too much, or your mouthfuls are a bit too big, because that kind of means that it sits above the stomach. So if you think about, you had a sac like this, okay, and now you have a little pipe like that. Because of that wound down here, everything's quite tight. So what normally happens is when you had that big sack for a stomach, you take a mouthful and there was like heaps of room in there for that mouthful to get out of the way and pop into the stomach. Now what you have is a little pipe, so if your mouthful is a bit too big, it will just sit here at the top of the stomach until it can work its way down, and then if you put in another mouthful a bit too fast, it'll kind of like build up at the top of the stomach, and then it'll feel like it's sitting in your esophagus, which it probably is, and that's when you get the foamies as well. So it can either be reflux or you can want to bring it up. So Janine, you've just said you're taking omeprazole and after the eating a little bit, but as the day goes on it gets more constant. So I would say talk to your team again. They might just modify like the dose of your omeprazole, and maybe like morning and night, or maybe putting most of it in the morning if it gets worse in the afternoon. They might split that dose over the day, but give them a call, or if you want a post-op appointment, I would get in and see them as soon as you can. Sometimes flavouring your water as well helps, or drinking something like milk. You just don't want to get in the habit of that all the time. I know that's a tricky one. Okay, so check your mouthfuls, check how fast you're eating them, check the portion size, and see if you focus on slowing down, if that helps. But I would talk to the team as well. Okay. Jeanette, are you saying that you do eat a little bit too fast? So that might be all that it is. So just see if you can really slow down. Put about a minute between each mouthful and make each mouthful really small, like a half a teaspoon small. Okay. So that was the questions on that page. And I'm just going back to Ruth. You asked a question about rolled oats and iron and quick oats. And I think that Vanessa's article was an excellent article. It probably answered it for you. Essentially, there's not much difference in terms of nutrition between rolled oats, the steel cut oats and the quick oats. The only thing really is that the quick oats will digest a bit faster because they've been chopped up, so they've done part of the digestion in a way for you. So that'll mean that they're a little bit higher in GI, they go through a bit faster, and you'll feel a bit more hungry sooner after eating quick oats compared to rolled oats. And Jenny's comment was very valid about rolled steel cut oats taking forever to cook. They do take forever, so it's definitely a hard one to cook those unless you've got buckets of time. And quick oats are fine. Just check the flavoured ones. Don't go for the flavoured ones. They've often got quite a lot of sugar in them. It's better to get the plain ones and maybe add a bit of honey or a bit of fruit, maybe a bit of like puree or rhubarb or something like that to the top of it, maybe some nuts and seeds to make sure that it is still got good nutrition to it, but it tastes good as well. Okay, Sim's here as well and Bernadette's here. Guys, do you have any questions for me? I have a question for you, and the question is, in terms of the next shopping guide, do you want a guide to milk or a guide to choosing one of those ready-made meals? I posted on Insta, and I think I posted on it went to my Facebook page the other day, like a smart swap for one of the ready-made frozen meals, and I can easily do up a guide to buying one of those or milk, and I'm happy to do whichever you prefer. So just chuck it in the comments, let me know. I might put a poll in the group as well and just see which one people prefer, and then that'll be out for you in another couple of weeks as well. Oh, Jade, you've just said pressure cooker or slow cooker for steel cut oats. I think that's a great idea. If anybody's got any good recipes for steel cut oats, let us know. Maybe post them in there if you do. Jade, I'm assuming that you could do, if you're doing slow cooker, you could do a massive big batch of them as well, which would be good. All right, we've got 3 meals. Janine, Sim and Ruth. So you guys are winning at the moment. I'll have a look at the ready-made meals, and we might go from there for the next one, and then maybe do milk after that. Actually, I'm just going to write that down right now before I forget. There you go. Okay. And Jade, you've said that the oats freeze well as well, so that's excellent. Really, really good. All right, I don't have any more questions to be answered. You've all been pretty good so far, so I will go back through just now and kind of have a look at what's been posted in the group and make sure that everybody is okay. Maria, I haven't had a chance with the migraine to have a look at your post on those ready-made meals, the superfoods, but I'm going to definitely have a look at those and get back to you. And it seems like most of you like them actually, which is good. Those Super Nature products, there's some superfoods. I think Maria posted a polenta and a wellness bowl, so I will definitely have a look at that and post in the group. Jenny brought up a really interesting topic in grazing, and she posted because she said she was in a bit of a panic, having been able to eat a lot over a long period of time in a meeting. It was over 2 hours. And so if you haven't checked that out, go and have a read. Thank you, Jenny, for sharing, because I know sometimes you feel like you don't want to talk about that stuff, or lots of people do, because you feel like a bit of a failure or like you're not doing it properly or whatever it is, but that's what we're here for. And I think most people kind of reassured Jenny and said it's absolutely normal. And to me, especially because Jenny's 4 years out, yes, she ate quite a lot, but it was over a 2-hour period. It was quite a long time. So to me, the fact that she was feeling quite sick at the end means that she's still got the restriction there, and she does get restriction with things like steak. So it's not like it's right straight into the surgeon to look for a redo of the surgery or convert to bypass or anything like that. But grazing is one of those habits that we really, really, really have to try and get a hold of, because you can eat more when you graze than you can if you eat a meal. It doesn't fill you up for as long, because you eat a bit, the food comes out the bottom, and then you eat another bit, food comes out, eat another bit, it's like a pipe, I guess, okay? And so it is really, really important to try and get control of that grazing. And if you can, I know it's hard if you're sort of locked in a meeting, it's very boring, the food's sitting right in front of you, but maybe it's about taking in a water bottle, having a drink, maybe making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee if they have that in the room. Maybe if it's not in something like a meeting, it's about just getting out of the kitchen, removing yourself from that space. Sometimes sitting outside, even if it's on the kitchen step or on the front step of the house, that's great. You could go out for a little bit of a walk, get up from your desk, whatever it is, just change the environment rather than trying to change your behavior straight away. And the more you do it, the more practice you'll get and the better you get at it. Okay, so go back and have a read of that post. It was the other day, maybe on Thursday or Friday, that Jenny posted that, which was really good. And I have also posted another meal plan. So the second meal plan is in there with recipes. And if you go to the livingwithasleeve.com and you go to the community tab at the top, if you go to sleeve friendly recipes, you should be able to access all of those recipes, and you can sort them by phase. So fluids, purees, pre-op, post-op, long-term, so soft foods. And so whatever stage you're at, you can just kind of click and it'll bring up the recipes on there that are suitable for you. Okay. The other thing, I guess, around grazing was that last week's challenge was to check if your stomach was head hunger, if your hunger was head hunger or stomach hunger. Maybe click like if you only eat, or maybe 80-90% of the time you eat because your stomach hunger. Nobody. What about if more than, I guess, less than 80% of the time you eat because of stomach hunger, and there's a significant amount of time we eat because of head hunger? Hit like then. I got one. Okay, we've got a couple. So it is really important. Again, that's kind of goes hand in hand with grazing, because if you're grazing, you're probably not physically hungry. It's probably not your stomach that's hungry. It's probably your head that is hungry. So it is important just to check in with your stomach and go, hang on, am I empty? Am I grumbling? Do I physically feel hungry? Do I know that I haven't eaten for more than 3 hours? Is it possible that it is stomach hunger? And if it isn't stomach hunger, then why do I want to eat? And maybe what else can I do? Can you go outside? Can you go for a walk? Can you go and paint your fingernails? Can you have a shower? Can you phone a friend? Whatever it is. Can you have a drink? And Reese just said you drink water to check, which is really good. So is there something else that you can do that will make you feel better and kind of distract you? Sometimes all you need to do is distract yourself for a couple of minutes, and then it lets that urge pass, the urge to eat when it's head hunger. Okay. All right. So I think that's about it, guys. So I will post the next live Q&A in 2 weeks' time. I'll create an event for that one. Let me know if there's anything else you would like covered, and I will post up. It looks like the ready-made meals will be the next guide to, but I'll put it to the whole group and see if it's milk or ready-made meals. I'm sure it'll be ready-made meals because they're a minefield, and I'll spend some time freezing in the freezer to make sure that I get a really good range and pick a couple that suit within the criteria that we come up with. Okay, so I am gonna love you all and leave you. Sarah, I'm sorry, I just saw that you've just joined now, but we have run out of questions. If there's any question that you want me to answer though, just post it in the comments section really quick. Otherwise, I will see you all in 2 weeks' time. Okay, just one more comment before I leave. Sarah said boredom is usually the reason for snacking, and new hunger sensations like having popping candy in your esophagus. That is really interesting. I've never heard that before. There's some it's amazing, even after this many years and talking to so many people, you get a new description of something like that gives you a really good visual. Maybe we'll have to come up with like a little infographic with popping candy sitting in the middle of your esophagus. So that's a really good one. Let us know if you get popping candy in your esophagus as your hunger signal, if anybody else feels like that. All right, I will chat to you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks so much for joining, and thanks again for joining today instead of last night. I was not in a fit state to chat to you all last night, and I will chat to you again in 2 weeks' time, but I'll talk to you on the group before then. Okay, see you guys.